What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to catch up on all of them there red Digimon that are coming out in Double Diamond. Now that the full set list is out, it would be frankly rude if we did not have a little bit of a look at all the red Digimon. So let's go through in order. Obviously, all the ones that were revealed before the full reveal have already been looked at on this channel. There are links in the description. But let's start off with our red roundup by having a look at a new Digitama. It's DEMUMERAMON. Now it is a level, or I should say translations here from the lovely folks over at DigimonCard.dev. And if you see any translated proxies from BT5, BT6, they are also from the lovely folks at DigimonCard.dev. It is a wonderful, wonderful website. So DEMUMERAMON then, one inheritable skill, as we would expect. When you are attacking, when this Digimon attacks a player, it gets an extra 1000 power for the turn. So basically helping you out against security Digimon. It's not going to help you attacking a Digimon, but when you're attacking the player, it absolutely does. And it's quite nice, of course, because back in BT1, we got Yokomon, that if you were attacking a Digimon, you got an extra 1000 power. So we've got the pair of them now. That is lovely. The problem is, if you've got Piercing, Babydmon gives you an extra 2000 power. We've just got other ways, quite frankly. A Digimon just always gives you an extra 1000 power if there are 5 or more cards in your opponent's trash. Maybe there are going to be some times where you are attacking your opponent and there aren't other Digimon that can give you the extra power. But I rather suspect that there just are. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure I like this one very much at all. And I'm sorry. I just think we got better options. But we do have BAUHUCKMON coming in here, so maybe that can save us. We got a 5 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 6000 power. As a level 4, that's alright. I mean, 6,000 power on a level 4 is actually kind of on the higher end, so that's quite nice. And we've got an inheritable skill. When you are attacking, limited to once during your turn, if you have a Digimon with Sistermon in its name in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5,000 power or less. Now, do remember we have seen Sistermon Noir and Sistermon Blank in this particular set. They look pretty gosh darned exciting, if I'm honest with you. So, if you're playing a Sistermon deck, and frankly there are strong reasons to suspect that you might want to play a Sistermon deck, then yeah, go for it, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen. Go for it. Obviously, outside of a Sistermon deck, you're not going to want to play this. That should be fairly obvious. But Sistermon Blank, as long as you've got a Digimon with Huckmon in its name or a Digimon with Royal Knight in its type, so this would count. All of your Digimon with Sistermon Game Blocker, and when you play it, you draw a card, which is quite nice. And then Sistermon Noir, all of your Digimon with Huckmon in their name or Royal Knight in their type get an extra 2000 power. And when you play it, you gain a memory. So I told you that 6,000 power was quite high to begin with. Now we're actually going all the way up to 8,000, and 8,000 is more than your average level 5. So now you're giving me a level 4 with more power than my average level 5? Yeah. And of course, when I attack once during my turn, if I got a Digimon with Sistermon in its name, then I get to delete a Digimon with 5,000 power or less, which is a very useful skill. Obviously good against decks like Rookie Rush, but also just good for taking out your opponent's evolving Digimon before they become too much of an unsightly bother. So you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, I can get behind this. This one seems cool. Now there is one vanilla red Digimon we need to take a little bit of a look at in this video. It is Deltamon. 5 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 7,000 power. And on the one hand, 7,000 power is high for a level 4. Yay! And it's, you know, like average level 5. But I've just shown you BAUHUCKMON that as long as you've got a Sistermon in play, is going to have 8,000 with the same cost and a really good inheritable skill. So, yeah. I'm not sure I can recommend Deltamon, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it's very good. But we do have a trio of level 5s to have a little bit of a look at here. So let's start off having a little bit of a look at Megadramon. Not the first Megadramon we've seen, but the first one in BT6. Now, we got a 6 cost to play normally, which is about right. It's actually kind of cheap for a level 5, to be honest with you. So it's not about right, it's actually kind of cheap. No, it's about right. That's what I'm sticking with. 3 cost to Digivolve is standard, but it can Digivolve from either red or black. So you can essentially switch a black deck into a red deck at this stage, which I very much appreciate. Really opens up the old deck building options, and 7,000 power is about right for a level 5. But we've got both an inheritable and a non-inheritable skill. The normal skill here, on your turn, this Digimon is also treated as black, so it's another one of those dual-type Digimon. You can evolve from black, and then you are also a black Digimon, so that means you can evolve this into a black as well as evolving a black into this, so you can really play around and mix up, and it gives you lots of options, and I appreciate that. But you've also got an inheritable skill that gets you an extra 2,000 power, and you know what? Yeah. I mean, this is pretty standard red stuff, right? Red Digimon tend to give you an extra 2,000 power. Well, not necessarily 2,000, but red Digimon tend to give you 2,000 power. We've seen, for instance, the Greymon from BT1 that just gives you an extra 2,000 power. There's your level 4 option. Beamon will give you an extra 2,000 power, but only when blocked, so you've got to be careful of that. And now this could be a nice level 5 option. So you're building up in that regard? Yeah. That's kind of nice, honestly. Also, I should mention the promo Agamon that will give you an extra 2,000 power if you've got Greymon in your name. So basically, if you really want to start building up to redonkulous power, I mean, you can be boosting up a level 6 Digimon by 6,000 power at this point. That is going to put level 6s above level 7s in terms of power. That seems like something we should be keeping a little bit of an eye on. That sounds pretty gosh darned good. Outside of those kind of decks, I don't think it's going to be great, but it can give you deck building options in terms of a hybrid black and red deck, and it's pretty gosh darn nice in terms of building up your power. That's cool. Now, Asuramon makes his debut in BT6, and you got 7 cost to play normally, which is on the higher end. 3 cost to Digivolve is standard. 8,000 power is high. Higher than your average level 5. And higher than the average is really important, right? Because when I'm blindly attacking the stack with 8,000 power, there will be some level 5s that are higher, but your average level 5 is 7,000 or below. So what that means is, I can basically attack the stack knowing that I'm only, or being fairly sure at least, that I'm only being deleted by level 6s and 7s, which means it is worth attacking the stack, because I'm going to have a high expectation of surviving. And whenever you're attacking the stack, unless you're willing or want to give the Digimon up, you need to be trying to figure out the odds of losing a Digimon when you're deciding whether to attack the stack or not. But Asuramon here also has Blitz. That is that skill whereby when you Digivolve, you are allowed to attack, even if it turns the turn over to your opponent. So if you've got 1 memory, you Digivolve into Asuramon, what should happen here is that the turn goes to your opponent with 2 Digimon, and that is what happens, but not until you've had a chance to attack. Yay! And that's good, obviously. So we've got an above-average power Digimon with Blitz. There's nothing hugely special about this, but I can absolutely see this finding its way into some red decks where you do just want to evolve up and start smashing immediately. So there is one more level 5 we need to have a little bit of a look at. It is Savior Huckmon, and yes, obviously it interacts with those Sistermon cards. So we got 7 free 7,000. That is pretty much exactly what we expect from a level 5 Digimon. We've got a skill whereby when you Digivolve, you may play a Digimon card with Sistermon in its name from your hand without paying the cost. I adore this, because bearing in mind, right, we've got Sistermon blank, when you play that, you get to draw a card. And we've got Sistermon Noir, and when you play that, you get to gain a memory. So you're either Digivolving up for 2 cost, or you're drawing a card while playing a card for free. And these Sistermon, I mean, you can see how this all builds up here, right? This looks very, very nice indeed. It is also worth bearing in mind that we got the level 6 Jesmon, that when you attack, you may play a Digimon card with Sistermon in its name from your hand or trash without paying its memory cost, which is cool. Sistermon Huck has to be from your hand, but it is a Digivolution skill on a level 5. Now, obviously, it is worth pointing out that if you don't have a Sistermon in your hand, you either have to Digivolve without taking advantage of the skill, which is not ideal, or wait to Digivolve until you do have a Sistermon, which is similarly not ideal. But I've shown you the 2 Sistermon, and I've just shown you Jesmon, and basically, if you're playing that kind of deck, Bauhuckmon a moment ago, yes. And this, absolutely. I know we haven't talked about the inheritable skill, we will in a moment, but when you Digivolve, being able to play a Sistermon for free, I mean, come on. Playing a card for free while gaining a memory or drawing a card, and still only having to pay the regular Digivolution cost of free, yes, that is phenomenal. Again, outside of a Sistermon deck, maybe not, but in a Sistermon deck, it's just, well, borderline broken. And when you are attacking once during your turn, if you have a Digimon with Sistermon in its name, you unsuspend this Digimon. Now, it's an inheritable skill, so we're looking at Jesmon. But if we go back to Jesmon, remember, when you attack, you can play a Digimon with Sistermon in its name without paying. And that is not limited to once during your turn. So if you've Digivolved from Saviour Huckmon here, you attack, play a Sistermon, and bearing in mind this will also play from the trash, not just from your hand, so it's far more likely you'll be able to play them. And then, because you've got a Sistermon in play, you get to unsuspend, and then you get to attack again, and play another Sistermon. Bearing in mind, when you attack with Jesmon, the first time, this is limited to once during your turn, you gain 3,000 power and piercing. Yes! Because now you've got a 14,000 power Digimon with piercing that's attacking twice but playing a free Digimon every time it attacks. And again, please always remember that when we're talking about playing these Sistermon for free, it's either Blank that draws a card or Noir that gains you a memory, and you're not paying to play them anyway. I mean, goodness gracious me. Saviour Huckmon takes that Jesmon deck, which is already looking pretty tasty, and makes it basically over-the-top crazy good fun. Yep, Jesmon looks legit, and Saviour Huckmon, and to be fair, Bauhuckmon to a lesser extent, all it's doing is taking those good-looking cards anyway and going, yeah, no, now it's even better. So, I don't know, let's just drop a 5 Wassy for this combo, because yowza, ladies and gentlemen, yowza. But I want to know what you think, so let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassy Plays.